Good day, everybody. Today we're working on a 2007 new body style GMC Sierra. This video is pretty much going to be the same for any 2007 to 13 GMC Sierra, Chevy Silverado, GMC Yukon, or Chevy Suburban. And the complaint is we've got a broken door handle, outside door handle. It's basically just pulled off the truck. There's a couple of bolts that hold it in and it's pulled off here. So we're going to go about replacing that today, and we'll kind of show you a little bit of a deal on how that works and how that goes in, and things you're going to need to do as you complete this repair. So yeah, without further ado, we'll go through that. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a little better, closer look at what's actually happened here with the door handle. There's a kind of a stud that goes into the back of the plastic handle on this side, and it actually broke out first, broke right off, and same thing on the back side. But anyway, so when you try and open the door, it does open, but it's loose. So here's the new part. You got the door handle. It's all nice and shiny. It comes with a little plastic cover on there. This I bought at my local GM dealer for it's about $90 Canadian. They're going out of business. They gave me a little bit of a deal on it, but I placed one before, and I figured it's kind of the $95 to $110 range depending where you go. So this is a factory GM part. Sometimes you can go get a cheaper one at the local parts store or something like that, but I find that this kind of stuff is just as good with the new GM parts for that kind of money. So anyway, so first off, we're going to start by removing kind of this. We got to remove the door lock pull, and we got to remove this. There's kind of a cover behind the door latch there that we got to pull those two out and get them removed so we can see a couple of screws. There's also another cover behind there that we got to pull out, and then we'll go into the next step. Okay, so first off, basically we're going to take use a fairly thin bladed screwdriver in there. Hands here. It just basically pops back like that, and then you just pull that straight off. So got this pull back here. There's a little hole you can see in there. Basically just stick the screwdriver and it'll pop back out. Okay, so I got that one out on top there. You can kind of see that stuck in the back. Apparently somebody had done this before and they stuck some two-sided tape there because they broke the little cover there. So little tip, I guess, if you're doing this yourself and you break one of those clips in there, you can just stick some two-sided tape to hold it in there really well. Next one on the bottom here is just kind of the same deal. Just there's kind of two. There's a clip here and a clip here, so it just depends how you get in there. Flips right out like that. So, and then there's two 10mm bolts down there, and one up there we got to take off. So. So once we got those three bolts kind of removed there, the next step is going to be taking a tool like this and flipping it behind here, just removing all the plastic tabs that can pull back. So. Okay, so once you got the door panel, sometimes like I was showing here before, I like to get my fingers back there sometimes to pull on that. just because tools are great, but sometimes they do a little more damage than they could if you don't just take your time. And once you get this stuff loosened off, it comes off pretty easy. So far there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 10 clips on this thing that you got to pop out. So, but once I usually start kind of down here or here, depending on the vehicle, get your fingers in there. Sometimes you need a little hand on. So this is where things start to get a little interesting. This is kind of the back side of the door handle here. You can see the handle when I pull on it, kind of makes it move. There's a cable in there that attaches to the door handle, and it's kind of like an old bicycle brake type deal, where just inside here there's a little ball on the end of the cable, and you got to flip that ball upwards, pull the cable and slide it through the slot, and then it'll loosen right up. There's also, see that down there, a plug. It's generally your power window switch. If you don't have power windows, I guess it won't be such a big deal, but and it's just got a squeeze tab there. You just squeeze and pull straight down, and that'll come right out. Okay, so I'm going to try and give you a bit of a shot and see if we can figure out how to show you how this thing works here. Some cases it may be just as simple to pull the door handle right off. Kind of for ease of demonstration purposes, we're going to try this. I'm using a 9/32 here. I love the American Canadian metric system deal there. I'm just going to remove, there's two little bolts on the back side here. Try not to lose them. Getting that cable out of there is really hard to pull on that while the handle's still in place here. So we're just going to remove these two 9/32 bolts here. And then your handle should gently push out. Okay, and then we gotta undo these on the back side of this. It's kind of a little plastic retainer here with this ball here. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that or not. There's this kind of little retainer there, and that's got a couple of squeeze clips on the back side of it. Push those out using a flathead screwdriver and pull that back. That releases your cable. Go forward, pull the ball out. Easy done. So, okay, in some models you're going to end up with a little bit extra foam here. I don't know if they all come like this or not, but there's just kind of this reattachable sticky stuff that pulls back off there, and you can peel that back out. So, you get at your door handle. It's also a great time. You got some dents in the door, just pound those back out. That's simple enough. Okay, and the bolts for this door here, I'm trying to get the light in there. It's really hard to see, but they actually cut you a hole here, and you stick your ratchet through there, and there's a bolt visible back there, not more or less. There's a 10 mil again, or whatever we were using before. One over here. So you just use those, and we'll wrench them up. Extra tool I ended up getting here was just an extra extension here. Put that on there. This particular scenario, it's broke off the backside, so the studs aren't sitting in the door handle anymore. So I should take a pliers, hold it on the backside, and bolt it out. You can see here we'll be holding the pliers like this and loosening it off the ratchet on the backside. I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. Alright, so once you got the bolts removed, here's a bit of a plastic thing. You gotta kind of try not to bend the cable. Twist it that way and try and break the end off. Get it back out of there. You basically just have to remove this. It's got a foot back and slide off there, and then the handle's loose. Okay, you can see there I just broke some of the pieces off there. I don't know if there's a better way to do that or not, but you can bust on those tabs and it'll just slide itself right off there. So it's your junk handle. Okay, you can see I just cleaned off the door handle a little bit. I locked it now. Yeah, kind of save you if you get some extra dust and get that stuff out of it. It'll save you from wearing extra paint, and you never know what kind of piece you might be working on with good habits. It might save you replacing parts again in the future. The next thing we're going to work on is get the cable stuck back into the door. There's a trick how to find this thing. Okay, just pop that back on there. We'll kind of move this thing around a little bit. And sort of like that. Yeah, a little trouble with lighting here, but I'm just going to try and give you a bit of an idea of what it looks like to slide this thing in. So there's a couple pieces on the back side there. There's a clip right in there that you have to get slipped into the hole at the same time and lined up. It's kind of in sequence, it won't go there, so just like that. Not too bad, it looks like brand new again. Okay, now we'll just need to stick the bolt back in here. One there, one there. A lot of this is probably have to do by hand off the start. Get her going. One should be relatively easy, and one should be the right here. All right. So there you go, that's the main part of it. So yeah, the inverse is basically going to be sticking this thing back on here like that. Really simple. Fussy, you might need some heat tape or something like that, but it should kind of eventually stick back on there. If it doesn't right away, that'll be okay. It won't be something that'll vibrate or anything. Other than that, yeah, we'll just go through it, put it back together, and all one. Little tip when bolting in door panels, if you're wondering where are all the bolts, or you're trying to pull on something that's a clip and it feels like it's really tight, it's probably a bolt. Generally I find those bolts at the most commonly pulled on piece of the door. It's on the door handle here, the door lamp on top. Those are generally two popular spots. Some of the Chrysler stuff is all screwed away all around the edges and that kind of thing, which is okay too. But generally, yeah, if it's got clips like this one does, generally there's a few bolts someplace. It's not all just clipped on there, so you're looking in those popular spots. Let's get all the bolts in, last piece back in. And then you're done, ready for testing.